Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
We're together today.
Yeah.
All right. So Thursday's episode, we have Lorna Kidjo, who is an actor, writer, director. And one thing that came up a lot was sort of the different jobs that she's had within the industry and how those experiences really helped her in her career as like writer, producer, more so. And so that got us thinking about, I guess there's two lanes you could take, or there's many lanes, but what do you do? Do you get a job that will help propel your career forward and work within the industry you're in? Or do you get a job that, you clock in, you clock out, mindless, there's other benefits to it, but then it could really allow you to focus on your auditioning and courses, workshops, and then gigs if there's something more flexible or just on weekends, something like that. So got us thinking of our jobs and through the years and what we've done. And for her, it was obviously great, which you'll hear about all the different things that she's done. But what about you, Suzanna? What were some jobs that you've had that?
Well, I was very, very determined once I finished university and theater studies. I said, I'm only going to take a part-time job that is in my field. So the summer I didn't work at all. I did some background work and I was broke. I lived at home, so it wasn't like I was risking starving, but I had zero cash on me. And my mother was like, dude, I help pay for university. I am not giving you spending money. You're a 22-year-old woman, like handle it, get a job, and I'm like, I'm an actor. So then I got a job finally in September, and it was at the Centaur Theater Company, and it was in the box office, just a box office clerk, but at least I felt that I was in my world. And I felt like, okay, this I can do. I'll, meet other actors, meet other people in the industry, and I'll learn more about the craft. And I didn't have an agent at that time and all those kind of things. But then 2 weeks later, there was an opening at Elite Casting, which was a film company, which Rosina works with. You worked with Rosina. And so I wanted to work there because it seemed more glamorous. So I got the receptionist job there and I worked there for 2 weeks, and it was busy. It was great. I learned a ton. But there was two folds to it. Some of it was, like I said, amazing, but some of it would get really, really, really busy. And at that point I was able to get an agent, and then I had auditions, but they needed me at the front desk. So then it became a conflict also, because when the industry was very busy, so did my auditioning ramp up. And at that time it wasn't self-tapes. So that became stressful too. So I wasn't sure, would your best bet then getting like just a job on the weekends where you punch in and punch out and then have your, days open for auditions? I wasn't sure at that point, but then I ended up booking a play and I ended up being able to just make my way as an actor for a while. So that was good.
Amazing.
Yeah. So Jess, what about you? What are part-time jobs that you have?
Yeah, well, this one, I mean, I've had many, but this one in particular, it's not really in the industry, but it was really clearly the alignment of my life at that time. It was during CJEP, and I was just applying everywhere for, part-time work. And I had gotten a job at Godiva Chocolates in Ogilvy's. And literally like the training was trying all the different chocolates.
Oh, that's a tough life.
So like I brought them home at the end of the day, would have to come report. I was like, my next training session was learning how to like dip like the dried fruit in the chocolate. I was like so excited. But at that time too, I was really focusing on like weight loss, and I just started working with like a nutritionist. And I was like, wow, this is like not great for, the diet situation. No. And then like during my training at Godiva, I got a job at Lululemon. And at Lululemon, I mean, we know it's an athletic clothing store. They gave part-time workers like 2 free classes a week of yoga or any gym like that they were affiliated with. You got workout clothes. There was goal setting. Like it was very much aligned with like everything that I was like focusing on. And I remember being like so sad. And like, I felt so bad that I had to quit before I even really started.
Yeah.
But like, that was so much more in line with what I was looking to do, was like get in shape and get healthy. And, so I thought that that was so funny. But again, like just trying different things and just feeling that clarity and knowing like, okay, no, this is what I have to do,
Yeah.
I've also worked for a producer before. It wasn't as good of an experience as Lorna's experience.
Right. Well, Lorna's experience, when she got her job, you guys will hear about it on Thursday,
Yeah.
but she had one of her part-time jobs was hired by a production company, and it was about looking for funding and different for projects that they were working on and
Yeah.
opportunities for funding. So that was her job, which really served her when she went out to be an independent filmmaker and had to get funding, because it is a full-time job in itself.
Literally. So she
Yeah.
got paid to learn that. And then later
Mhm.
on was able to, like, she knew about all the different programs, and which is amazing. When I was the producer's assistant, I literally had to call Air Canada to make a complaint that the producer's luggage had a scratch on it.
Oh my gosh. And that didn't help you with your career later on?
I think I practiced patience.
Yes.
I practiced
Mhm.
professionalism.
Mhm.
I had to stay on top of Air Canada because they don't even have a number that you could call. That I learned.
So that, good.
And they'll get back to you within 5 to 8 weeks once you email them. So I had to give my updates weekly of where Air Canada was at.
Right.
And then later I found out, or the producer came to me and said, "Oh, you know what? Funny. The scratch on my luggage was actually just tape. So forget Air Canada. Don't worry, that was on me." And I'm like,
so funny.
okay.
So was that a very Devil Wears Prada kind of experience?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. What was the ending of Devil Wears Prada?
Oh, well, they ended up getting together. I think she was okay. It was going to give her a great learning experience.
Yeah.
But how long did you work for the producer?
Not terribly long, but I remember I left to go to CMJ to start working on Fatal Vows.
Right.
And I remember the producer probably like 4 or 5 years later came to the CMJ offices, and he was like, "Oh, at least it's good to see you're still here." Like, as if like I left for something, like that I was serious about, I guess.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
or like, yeah. So,
or it wasn't like a slight trying to say, "Oh, really? You're so flaky. You only keep jobs for a couple of months and you're actually
maybe.
still working."
Yeah, or like I had left him after a couple months, and yeah, here I was, like, still there 4 years later.
So funny.
Yeah,
Like,
so there's different kinds of experiences, and all to say, I think it's really important to try different things and to see what best aligned with you, because also a job doesn't only have to be beneficial to your career. It could be
right,
beneficial to your life, like
right.
even like we were talking about.
My friend who, I
Yeah.
had a friend who moved to LA to pursue acting. She did have her papers because her father was American, and she got the night shift at a hospital, which I was like, oh my God, sounds awful. But she needed her medical. She needed a car. She needed an apartment. She needed the benefits that a full-time job had. She didn't want to do the waitressing thing. She was already in her 30s, and the night shift suited her schedule perfectly,
Yeah.
even though she was tired when she had like 10 o'clock auditions. Because again, she's been there, I guess, for almost 10 years now. It was before the self-tape world.
Wow.
So your days have to be at the time available for auditions.
Yeah.
And
like you say, to get like health benefits and all those
she
things from the
needed that.
hospital, that is like huge and like worth so much.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, it doesn't, I guess, to look at different opportunities, it doesn't just have to be for your career. It could be for other reasons too. It could just be financial. It could be mental, like, and emotional. It's like, no, I don't want to have any other, like, thoughts about work. Like, I want all of my energy to go here. So I just need something like mindless,
Yeah.
that could help pay the bills, keep me busy, but have the flexibility to like focus on what I need to do.
Yeah, I was very aligned with what Lorna was saying, though, in very agreement, because I didn't obviously take that path. I'm not a filmmaker and I wasn't looking for funding, but I did all the part-time jobs that I had to support myself. have pretty much always been, since university. Before university, I did also clothing stores,
Yeah.
waitressing, whatever. But since university, I was very much um, about working in the industry and always kind of trying to keep that alive in me and learning from that.
Yeah.
But you're right. You can learn from all your jobs, especially as an actor. I mean, being an
Mhm.
assistant to like a very challenging producer is a great
Life skill.
life skill and character development. If you get cast in Devil Wears Prada 2, you know exactly what's going on, you know? So
Yeah.
I mean, I think all experiences are worthwhile. And
Yeah.
it's like you said, you have to just kind of decide what's aligned with yourself. There you have it, everybody. The
Yeah.
part-time job. Again, we don't have any moral to the story. You do you and figure out what suits yourself. But I think
Yeah. No wrong answer.
there's no wrong answer and there's lessons in everything. And like anything, even with acting, you can always quit.
Mhm.
If it's not for you, you quit. And that's
Yeah.
it. And you go on to the next and try something else. Try something else. Keep trying and keep growing. Amazing.
Yay.
Yay. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
See you
Thank you.
Thursday.